Hello everyone and welcome back to Assassin's Creed 3 where we last left off. We learned how to pilot a boat and now we are back as Desmond after Connor became a full-fledged assassin. We are trying to find one of those batteries that will help us open up the door. So let's go. There we go. Whoosh. Running and jumping down. Nope. I don't know why we had to come this way, but I'm assuming it's for a good reason.
Oh, that's hold still. That's a lovely view.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
I almost died. Up. Come on, Desmond, go faster. If there were construction things here, they would have provided more things on the outside to climb up on.
Jesus.
Look on the bright side. No security to worry about.
And on the not so bright side, the slightest misstep means you're effectively paste.
Shut up, Sean.
Getting your fingers trapped in these things if you fell down wouldn't be great. If I can read this. Nope, it's all pixelated. Don't mind. If we can do all this, I would assume that we have been properly
Almost there,
trained by
Desmond.
Ezio.
Once you reach the top of the lit-up crane, you should be high enough to make the jump.
Should?
It'll be fine, don't worry.
Uh-huh.
Well, you might want to worry a little. I'm pretty sure she was high when she was running the numbers.
Sean!
A joke. It was a joke. Or was it?
Surely we can just climb inside this just to get up this ladder, because it doesn't have any grating stopping us from climbing in. No? Just me? Okay. Get ready to jump.
Jump when you're ready, but wait for my signal to open the chute. Timing's really important here. Too soon or too late and you'll miss the building.
And then you have to climb all the way back up.
Now! Open your chute, now!
Got it. They got stuck for a second then. I don't know why he's opening his legs like that. I think they just sort of made him look like he's jumping and then just stuck a parachute on him. Because the parachutes are coming out of his shoulder blades where there's nothing there. Don't just leave it there, leave your buried DNA. My cube. Great.
That wasn't so bad.
So, you must be Desmond. Not exactly what I expected.
Hi.
But I guess your kind doesn't have many options these days.
Who are you?
Ask your father. Now give me that.
I don't think so.
Look. I'm not supposed to kill you, but the boss man didn't say anything about fucking you up. So you got to the counter.
Why did you get that close? Are you an idiot? Is he just like really incompetent? Because he just went up close, didn't shoot him, and then allowed himself to
So
get
who the
through,
hell
like-
is Daniel Cross?
Believe it or not, he used to be an assassin. The assassin, the way I've heard it told, but
Really?
it turned out he was a sleeper agent for Abstergo, programmed to infiltrate and destroy the organization.
How did he know you were there? We could be compromised.
They must have caught me snooping inside their network and sent Cross to see what we were after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though, I will say this. Doesn't bode very well for future expeditions.
I've set up some cameras topside. If anyone shows up, we'll see it.
I'd suggest you go see about finding a socket for that power source. Or we can return to Connor if you prefer. All the artifacts in the world won't mean a thing without the key.
Well, I mean, I know where it goes already, so... Let's read emails.
I know everyone thinks
Or
I'm being
confused,
silly,
then.
but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched.
What's up with your head?
We are being watched. By Juno. Or some version of her.
Do you think it's a recording? Or is she a ghost? Or something else? Is she talking to us the way Minerva talked to Ezio?
Probably.
No clue. I mean, who knows what else they were working on down here? There's still so many rooms we don't have access to.
But do you think she's like literally down here, waiting somewhere, still alive?
Still alive? That's mental. That means she'd be at least 75, 80,000 years old? Oh, powerful, yeah, but not that powerful.
They came down here looking for a way to survive. Maybe they found one. Was it weird seeing Cross?
What do you mean?
It's different for you. You don't know about what happened, I guess. For a long time, he was important to us. He was a different person.
Sean said he was a sleeper agent. Like Lucy.
It was different. She made a choice, but Cross, if you read the files, Abstergo just... They did terrible things to him.
Rebecca?
You're lucky. We all are. We have people who care about us, who look out for us. He was all alone, and the people he thought he could trust, they used him.
Did you know him?
No, but I knew Hannah.
Who's that?
She tried to help him. She trusted him. But there was a raid about a year ago. She stayed behind so the others could escape. Tried to reason with him to see if she could fix things.
Well, what happened?
What do you think happened? He killed her. That's what he does. That's all he knows how to do. Sometimes it seems like that's all any of us know how to do.
Rebecca.
I just want to be alone right now.
Okay. Now let's interact with this computer. What do we got? Patch notes. I think we've already read this, haven't we? Disappointed! In case you haven't noticed, we're knee deep in the shit here. I understand that might not be a good time for any... Oh, blah. Might be your idea of a good time. It isn't anyone's idea of a good time. Picking fights isn't going to get our work finished any faster, so I suggest you stick to the mission. The sooner we're through the door, the sooner we can get back to our lives, or in your case, the lack of one. Wow! Ah... William's not the most diplomatic man, I'll give you that, but he cares about you very much. When you were under, during the whole bit with 16, he never left your side, even slept in the same room when we put down for the night. Anyway, don't mean to be a busybody, just didn't want to stay sore with him. Not too sore anyway, the man means well, even if he's got an odd way of showing it. This is actually from Sean. New database entries. Just a quick heads up that I've pushed in a new batch of entries focused on the Kenyan Geheka in order to ensure accuracy. I actually turned to a friend within the outside. Don't worry, he thinks it's all for a presentation, so we're in no danger of being discovered. You'll find a new section on the database labelled Surprise Surprise Kenyan Geheka. It has information on their political and social structures as well as some notes about their material culture. Connor's piece of Eden. Interesting. The sphere used by Connor during his spirit journey is clearly first civilization and origins. It appears to function as the same as some sort of temporal calculator. It's essentially a crystal ball, but one that actually works. That can't be coincidental, which begs the question, are there others out there? Or what even happened to that one? A bunch of gibberish. Sent to... I bet if you could like put this through a code cipher or something, it'd come up with something, and it just says hello at the bottom. It works. I should really hardly be surprised. Electrical impulses move from one pathway to another. You call them networks. Our word for them was more akin to road. It is yet difficult to project a thought from one medium to another, and yet it works, it works, it works. That's probably like hello in the title. Haytham's Blades. I've been doing some digging on Haytham's Blades. Still not 100% sure where they came from. My initial instinct was that he started out as an assassin. I believe his father was one, in fact, but it appears he was a Templar from pretty early on. Maybe he took them from someone. It's happened before, and they're quite handy. I'm surprised more Templars haven't put them to use. Pretty easy to build a pair if you know what you're doing. I have found a way to better control the impulses, to formulate a thought and transmit it, to add a sense of structure, a sense of order. You fear order, your kind, the gentle hand tends to flock his kind, not cruelty. I wonder, will you ever understand your enemies do it in their own way, but they share your basis heritage. Their concept is flawed, they are not worthy. You will have to prove unworthy of your gifts. Full stops, Minerva. Or Juno. Looks like Juno's really taking a shine to you. I suggest you don't engage her. There isn't a time to go down that rabbit hole. I'm sure it's to prove a badger's den. Besides, the whole experience is really. The final door, salvation, was it? But for us, who knows? Here we sit, working towards something we know next to nothing about. But it's our only chance, so there's that, I suppose. Leave him alone. Well, somebody doesn't like me. Leave him alone. You should not meddle in affairs that do not concern you. Like, he was actually contacted by her? All these Juno visits, and emails too apparently, have got me thinking, what happened to Tinia and Minerva? They're the ones who invited us to this little apocalypse, and now they're gone and buggered off. A little inconvenient, not to mention rude. I'll try and poke around later, see if there's not some sign of what happened to them. Alright. Let's go talk to Sean. I'd rather save Dad for later. Hey, Sean.
Ah, Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favour?
Maybe.
When this is all over, I'd like to try turning the dial back on the Animus. Like, all the way back. To the time of the first civilization.
You think it would work?
There was no real loss of fidelity when you visited Altair. Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago, and I'm looking at going back at least 70,000 more.
Sure, I'd be up for it. Be interesting to see what things were like back then.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Ubisoft. Yeah.
I think it would prove most enlightening.
I would love to go back that far and see the whole thing there, but no, you still haven't done it.
So this is how it started.
What are you up to?
Just brushing up on my American history. Well, I say history. They certainly teach you strange things in the States.
Like what?
Well, for all the talk of this being a revolutionary war, it was a civil one. Well, not that kind of civil. I mean, there was no America versus Britain. It was Brit on Brit action. And you can clearly see how the whole thing got started. One war gave birth to the other.
You mean the 7 Years' War?
Exactly. Seems the Crown overspent in its attempt to keep the French out. Wound up with a great deal of debt. Believing that the colonists should help to shoulder the burden, new taxes were created. It was a reasonable request, even if Parliament was rather, well, undiplomatic about it.
Well, it's not really fair to tax people for a war they didn't want any part of.
What? Didn't want any part of? Did you not notice George Washington with Edward Braddock? He was right there in the middle of it. So here you have the Crown spending who knows how much money to secure a place for the colonists to thrive, and then, when they ask for a little bit of help... Right, look, think of it this way. King George and the colonists, they all go out to dinner, right? And when the bill comes, George asks for them to kick in and pay their share. Fair enough. But keep in mind, he's been taking them out to dinner gratis for decades now. But the colonists, oh no, they insist they only had a glass of water and a side salad. Never mind the tables full of half-eaten food and empty bottles of wine. Now when the king points this out, what do the colonists do? Oh, they flip the table over and they storm out the restaurant. Probably intending to return later and burn it down.
You left out the part where the king pointed a gun at the colonists and asked them to cover dinner for everyone in the restaurant.
Right, yeah, interesting take. If he pulled out a gun, and I'm not sure he did, it would only have been after the 100th failed attempt at getting them to pay their fair share.
But how do you define someone's fair share?
Oh, well, with a war, apparently. I wonder how many other places like this exist.
There are dozens of them.
We'll just certainly move
all
on
over
from
the
that.
world.
That's fine.
And somehow no one's ever found one before us.
I don't think that's true.
Oh?
When I was at Abstergo, Vidic talked about silencing discoveries made by non-Templars. And I'm sure Abstergo has dug up plenty.
The things they must know.
Regretting throwing in with us?
No. Just looking forward to when we can finally trounce those bastards so I can dive into their archives.
Ah, anything more?
Oh, I think I found a lead on another power source.
Already? We've only just gotten this one. Let's go talk to Pappy. Hey there, Git.
Son, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. You have to understand, I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Yeah, I kinda liked my ordinary one.
You can't escape who you are, Desmond.
So I've noticed.
Look, it's silly for us to go back and forth like this. I admit, I did a shitty job raising you. I apologize, I'm sorry. But it's important you understand it didn't come from a bad place. You're my son. I love you. I guess I was so busy trying to make sure nothing bad happened, I didn't consider the consequences. Truce.
It doesn't say anything.
I can't believe it's taken me so long to ask, but... how's Mom? She's not...
No. Your mother is fine. We decided it was safer if we split up for this job.
Always assuming the worst.
For good reason.
Can I at least say hi to her?
I'm sorry, it's too risky. Maybe when we're done.
Right.
Maybe.
When we're
I
done.
mean, the sun might explode. Well, it won't explode. Yeah. Is that it? I'm still walking with him. That usually means something else is going to happen.
Have we ever tried to make peace with the Templars?
Throughout our history, there have been moments. Several, in fact. But... it's impossible. There are existential differences, insurmountable. If there were to be unity, it wouldn't be a truce so much as a submission.
But knowing what's about to happen, wouldn't it make sense to try and talk to Vidic? Come to an arrangement, even if it's only temporary?
We'd all be so busy watching our backs, nothing would get accomplished. Imagine that. We're more productive at war.
Well, have we ever tried sending in someone? Doing to them what they did to us with Lucy? Or Cross?
We have, and it's never worked. We've sent people who were either too weak and found themselves turned, or too strong and were unable to carry out the charade.
I just feel like we all want the same thing.
We use the same words, but that's all they are, words. In the end, it all comes down to freedom. We seek it, they detest it. And so there's never an end to the fight. Not until one side is completely gone.
Is that even possible?
Probably not. Our two groups have existed in one form or another since, well, since forever. But things can be better than they are. And that's something.
I suppose.
Did you look for me, Dad?
Oh, more. Okay.
When I was gone?
Every day.
Come on.
I mean it. Every night I'd look, searching for your name or variations of it, hoping you'd slip up. Abstergo only found you first because they had better access. A few more days and it would have been me.
Well, I'm here now.
And I'm glad.
Is that it?
Do you think
Oh,
Lucy
more.
regretted
Come
what she was
on.
doing?
I used to think I knew her well, but clearly that wasn't the case. So I really can't give you an honest answer.
She seemed so sincere, though. Like she really wanted to make a difference.
Yes, well, when I first met him, I thought the same thing about Cross.
It just keeps happening over and over again.
What does?
Everything.
Don't get weird on me, Desmond.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Don't worry.
All right, then. You should think about getting back in the Animus. We've got to find that key.
Get back in the Animus so you can have another episode
We
like
should
that.
probably get back to Connor.
fine. But first I need to go put this battery in. Jeez. That was a lot of talking. You know, I prefer it if we had those cutscenes, like I mentioned last time, where they actually have a cutscene for when they actually talked, because it was better than looking at nothing and watching them walk back and forth with their robot mouths. And dead eyes. Literally, Sean looks terrifying as fuck under the right lighting. He's got dead eyes, fucking straight ahead stare. Sometimes his eyes even go like pitch black because of the lights. To the button statue. Hey, Juno.
Wonder what's inside.
Only one way to find out.
Another battery. That's one part of that bridge, I guess. There's the other terminal. Well, that's yeah, that's about it. Whoops. I didn't mean to jump now. I think we'll save the battery, or checking out the other area when we get the battery. Okay, back in the Animus.
Good luck, Desmond.
These are troubled times. The already uneasy alliance between the Crown and its subjects phrased. And behind them both the Templars plot, pulling strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already spun?
He looks older now.
Spare a moment. These things I must determine. Of course. For only by knowing my enemy can I hope to stop them.
What is it? Xingbao, or rope dart if you prefer. One of the many plans given to us by Xiao Yun to...
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
Is he supposed to be like a young adult now?
Ganondogo,
Yes, my friend.
what brings you here? Is the village all right?
For now.
What do you mean? What has happened?
Men came, claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was being sold, and that the Confederacy had consented. We sent an envoy, but they would not listen.
You must refuse!
We cannot oppose the Sachem, but you're right as well. We cannot give up our home.
Do you have a name? Do you know who is responsible?
He's called William Johnson.
Where is Johnson now?
In Boston, making preparations for the sale.
Sale! This is theft!
Kana, take care. These men are powerful.
What would you have me do? I made a promise to my people.
If you insist upon this course of action, seek out Sam Adams in Boston. He'll be able to help. What have you done?
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start. When the threat is ended, the hatchet is removed.
You could have used a tree.
I have a metal axe now. Defend your convoy. Excuse me? Meet with Pegleg in the homestead about Kid's treasure. Davenport. You can visit the Master Harbour Master for naval missions. Xiao Yun. Yes, the character that was in the spin-off game, Assassin's Creed China. Which would have been great if it was a main game, but it isn't. It's a spin-off. Yay! And they made a ton of spin-offs. They made China, Russia, all these other shits. Like, why not just make a game with that setting? A proper game. Like these, Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, and all this jazz. Instead of making a separate game which is shorter and doesn't have as many features as an actual main feature game because you couldn't be asked to make a proper game for it. Anyway, her teenage years were in her favourite concubines and all this. She was like some concubine to the Emperor, but was like, no, bitch, and then kill him. me already look at these. Grenadiers. Although I would say grenadiers. And there's the Hunting Society, which is all about the hunting and the blah blah blah, and something about a velociraptor. Alright. And I think with that we shall stop here. In the next episode we shall probably look around and see what's new in this place now that we've grown up and become the character I don't like. Until then, this is Majorshepard. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check the description for Patreon donations. Until next time, guys. Ciao.